I'm very aware of what I have to offer the world. I say yes to my healing. Hello, good afternoon to the beautiful, benevolent. Come on, Brooklyn. There we go. Hello to the beautiful, benevolent beings that have tuned in with me today. Blessings up to you, wherever you may be on this day, evening, afternoon, night, whenever you are watching. I just wanted to take the moment to cheesing so much because I'm going to be speaking about a quite personal and near dear topic today. I want to talk about celibacy. I was celibate for 15 months and I really want this video to be about how going celibate and how releasing and healing and giving my yoni that time to rest, giving my spirit that time to rest, giving my womb that time to rest really helped me to alchemize into the wild woman that I am today. It honestly saved my life. So I decided to go celibate in December of 2019, and I had just finally officially broke things off with my most previous partner at the time, and it was really hard for me. That relationship was 10 months, yet felt like 10 years in certain ways. It really pushed me and showed me my worth and made me realize, I should say, my worth. It made me really see the areas of my life that I was allowing myself to be in autopilot with, areas in my life at the time that I had just needed to surrender to. That relationship actually was quite karmic, if you ask me. I do believe that my lover at the time was a soulmate. And yes, in case you didn't know, soulmates can be karmic. But more about that in a future video. I will be making some content where we together go over soulmates, the two types, the evolved soulmate. We'll go over the karmic and twin flames. So yeah, that relationship really, really pushed me to my max. And I've always personally been a lover. I've never been a serial monogamer. And if you are one, own that ish, okay? Because I remember around the time where I was breaking up with my ex, I met a new person that I was really excited about. I felt very interested in. They felt interested in me. It felt like we were kind of vibing and coasting, had a lot in common. Y'all know how it goes. And I shared my discovery with my friend, and she was just like, oh, blah blah blah, you're a serial monogamer. And I was like, bitch, where? Bitch, where? It just was so funny because I realized, and even afterwards, that friend obviously cares very deeply about me, and I think all my friends just know, and I know most importantly, and I wear it as a form of confidence, as a form of just allowing myself to be exactly as I am. I'm a very, very, very heart chakra oriented person. I am a Pisces South Node. I'm a Pisces Sun in Vedic astrology. I love love, okay? I love romance. However, that relationship and just evolving through my journey throughout the years showed me that my love deserves to be reciprocated. It deserves to be honored. My heart space deserves to be poured into the way that I pour into others. And so going back to this idea of celibacy. So it was December 22nd, 2019. Now, if you know me, you know that I am a sucker for angel numbers, specifically 222, so 1222. I had honestly a not so great night with my lover at the time. And I remember leaving his home the next day and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't, because we were in that game for a couple of months of dating other people, getting space from one another, and then somehow, right around this time, actually 2 years ago, retrograde, found our way back to one another. I kept going from taking space, not responding, to feeling kind of guilty, feeling owed to, feeling I still love you as a person, so let's kind of keep in contact. And I think when we first broke up, I knew like, yeah, like we were not meant to be friends. And I was about to say maybe in the future, but I don't even think so. I think we were meant to learn the things that we learned together in that union, teach each other, but also show each other the worst parts of one another, the parts that deserved healing, the parts that deserved our attention. And for that, if you are watching, you know who you are. My heart space will always be open to you just for that, just for you being able to show me my worst. So I left, it was December 22nd, 2019, and I remember calling my homegirl, and I was like, I can't, like, I know I can't. And like, I blocked him. I don't believe I was following him on any social media at the time, but I blocked him. I was like, I can't do this. And I just remember feeling very firmly in my spirit that like, I need to rest. Like, I don't, because like we were intimate, you know, the night before. And it, honestly, I can't even remember what it was like, which tells you something. I'm gonna be speaking a lot about sacred sexuality on this channel moving forward, and just about connecting the mind to the body when it comes to engaging in lovemaking with another person. It's not about going for the result, you know, it's not about like, oh, because I practice sacred sexuality, every single time I'm engaging with my lover, I'm going to orgasm, for example. Every single time I engage with myself, I'm going to experience blah, blah, but it is about having their inner awareness that our bodies are our temples, and that every time we open ourselves up to someone, we are exchanging energy. Whether that is something that you know or not, that is something that should really be honored. What I can remember in this moment is that I was just so over it. But what I do know about our relationship was that for a long time, that was the one thing that kept us together, was, you know, the I know a lot of people here watching have been in that situation before, where it's like y'all don't have hardly anything in common, or y'all are out of love, or whatever the case is, and this is all you guys do. That's great, that's fun. And personally, I'm doing my best to like hold back because there's so many layers. But yeah, I will say this in this moment, and we can explore this in the future. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. But there is something known as a spiritual STD, and for me, I do feel like part of our relationship kind of turned into that, where it was like we both knew, and I don't know how conscious he was of it. I think subconsciously he knew that, like, we were so comfortable in the union, and that was the one thing that we felt safe in. That was the one thing that was like, okay, well, maybe we can be friends, and maybe we can just do stuff. Like, that's the one great thing that's going well in our relationship, is our sex life. Spiritual STDs are super real. So I knew, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I blocked him, and I just remember setting the intention. I remember setting the intention to heal, and to really heal from the inside out, to roll up my sleeves, to honor my vessel, to honor my womb space, and to really just shed. And now what I didn't know was that the world was gonna go on lockdown, you know, within like 2-3 months. For me personally, 2020, from around like February of 2020 all the way until I want to say March of 2021 was all about healing my divine feminine. And when I say, y'all, that celibacy saved my life, not only did it just save my yoni, not only did it like save my spirit, it helped to heal my divine feminine. Over that year, over that chunk of time, I got to see how, wow, I really was attracting the same person with a different face. And wow, I really was codependent on that person. And wow, my father being absent in my life for as long as he was is the reason as to why I choose people that sometimes may physically be present, but spiritually and emotionally be absent to my needs. There were just so many moments, and I'm still having moments, y'all. Like, I'm sure I'm gonna sit down and like watch this video and be like, oh my gosh, wait, what? Because I allow myself to be a channel now. I allow myself to be a vessel. Sometimes I open up my mouth and it's just like blah, blah, blah. And see, that is a gift that I am now able to honor because of the fact that I kind of closed myself off. You know, I said, if I can't have authentic, high vibe, and I didn't say this at the time, I'm like voicing it now. I didn't know to say this, but I think my intentions was really to go within and to honor the space of just sitting with myself and just noticing what do I like, what do I want. And when I say I was celibate for 15 months, I mean in every retrospect. I know that people have different rules for their lifestyles and for their bodies, and you should honor whatever that is. But I wasn't even doing self-exploration, y'all. Like, I went hardcore cold turkey. And personally, I've never, even though I am a lover, I've never been necessarily the type of person that have felt comfortable from like jump engaging with people. I've never like had a one-night stand, don't plan on it. I've never you know, there's a lot of things I've never done, okay? But yeah, I don't operate in the space of let's do it now. Like, obviously I'm a human being and I honor my sensual self. But yeah, I definitely need to feel mentally stimulated and emotionally safe, like emotionally safe. So yes, in addition to healing my divine feminine, I also now have a much larger idea of what I want. So all summer, right, I have been saying that like my energy is my currency. But I've been noticing that men are always going to say things, you know, you're walking down the street, even on the day where you're just like, man, I just threw a t-shirt on, and like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, hi, miss, blah, blah, blah. They're always going to say things, but I have noticed that the people that like come directly to me and have something to offer, whether that's, hey, you look nice, or hey, where you from, or hey, can I like buy you a cup of tea or something? Those are people that are a direct reflection of me. And here's the thing why I'm so grateful for that relationship and my celibacy journey and just all of the reflecting that I've been able to do over these past, now it's been like almost 2 years now, is the fact that now I'm more aware of my strengths. I'm very aware of my weaknesses, but I'm very aware of my strengths. I'm very aware of what I have to offer the world. I say yes to my healing. I say yes to my surrendering. I say yes to feeling like I'm split, feeling like I'm pushed and pulled like some Pillsbury Joe, y'all. Like, I definitely say yes to it. Now, I do have my moments where I'm just like, oh my gosh, what? Check out my cry if you need to cry video and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Overall, I just feel so expansive and so just elevated and so beautiful when I am aware that I do have something to offer this world, and the love that I have always been seeking is out there and it's closer than ever. So yes, so we spoke about healing the divine feminine. We spoke about really knowing what you want. And yes, like knowing what you want is so key, y'all. I think a lot of us get out here and we live our life going and going and going and going and going and going. And it's like, are you even processing what happened yesterday? Do you even remember what you had for dinner 2 days ago? I think we as a society and we as a people would be so much more advanced if as a collective we honored time to sit still. And I know 2020 was about that, but now it just kind of feels like we are rushing to get back to this newness. And that's a whole nother video. Back to my energy is my currency. I did this past summer meet like 2 people that I was interested in for a moment. And I realized in both cases, they were 2 different people, like had completely different ways of asserting themselves in this world, had completely different expressions of self, etc. And I actually love that contrast. But I realized in both cases, although they're not meant for me in this moment of my journey, that they definitely are as close as I have gotten to meeting a divine masculine that is my equal. And kind of what I mean by that is like this journey, right? This journey of not allowing anyone into my energy, not even allowing my own self into my body. Tidbit, I am no longer celibate. I broke it on my 24th birthday back in March. So far, I have only been doing self-exploration. So I still have not invited another person into my space in that way, into my body, into my yoni. And I'm quite proud of that, especially because like I am so much like every one of you watching a sexual being, and I honor that. And I think that another thing that this has been able to show me is that it is energy. So just because I wasn't going within my own body and giving myself pleasure, or meeting up with someone that I trusted and we're giving each other pleasure in a physical way, it didn't mean that I wasn't connected to that energy. I have a womb, okay? Like, this is my womb space. We all have wombs, okay? When I say we all have wombs, we all have access to that sacral chakra energy. I was still using my sacral chakra energy. I was getting to know my divine feminine. I was getting to know the divine feminine entities that guide me up in the 5D. I was shedding. I was becoming okay with my emotional self. I was healing. It is all energy. It is all energy. And I think being able to use your sexual energy and channel it is a beautiful ass thing, y'all. I think I'm actually going to link a couple of videos down below, because there are some amazing wild women here on this platform that are really using their gifts to spread awareness about sacral chakra energy, about being able to live through your womb, through that orange space, honor your emotions, honor your sensuality, to get you where you want to be in this life. I realize now the people that I'm attracting are as close as it's gonna get, and I rest so assured in that, because I know that my time is coming. But I know that I wouldn't have been able to meet people that I'm actually interested in and actually have something to offer me that feels right and feels safe if I didn't go through saying, you know what, I'm gonna just close myself off from everyone else. I'm gonna close myself off even from my own ego, even from my own just wanting to have pleasure in this moment. And now look, and now I'm able to give myself pleasure, and I just feel so good. And I don't go for the result. I don't orgasm every single time I touch myself, although I do definitely still enjoy exploring my body. And now it's to the point where it's like going celibacy has allowed me to see, like, wow, this thing that I used to think was weird or a taboo, like, I don't think it's weird anymore. Like, I have been really enjoying, y'all, exploring, touching every single part of my body and seeing how it makes me feel sitting in that. And I'm like, that's what I want from my next encounter. I want him to lick my elbow and it just makes me go up through the roof, okay? And I believe too, that's why my guides, like, although I have met those two beautiful young divine masculines, it still was not the right time, because it's like, I've been working on my tantric sex. I've been working through my womb space. I've been actually giving myself pleasure in a physical way. I've been doing my yoni steam. I've been sharing my gifts and spreading the wealth. It's like, I deserve the very best. And that's something that I really feel like, if it wasn't for me being celibate, I just don't know. I wouldn't have the confidence to sit in front of this video and speak about this. And also, last but not least, celibacy saved my life, because not only was I healing from every other divine masculine that has had access in the past to my body and my space, but I also was healing from a divine masculine that didn't honor my space at all, that took advantage of me and didn't listen to my no when I said no. And so that is kind of where I want to start to end this video off at, where it's like, I personally believe that every single human being should practice celibacy with intention. I knew when it was time for me to go celibate that, like, I could never end up in that space again. And it wasn't through fear, it was because I knew God and my guides had given me a second chance at life right around when me and that person at the time broke up. And it just was like, it's time for me to free myself. It's time for me to grow bigger. And I had no idea at that time, when I walked away on December 22nd, 2019, that I would be here today with a YouTube, with a business as a Black woman business owner, that I would have just filmed a movie, that I would have as much money tucked away in my savings account, because that relationship pulled me, stretched me, y'all. Like, I don't even cry B-R-O-K-E, but at that time I was B-R-O-K-E-E-E. Every single person, especially if anything that I just said, if you are in a relationship that is pulling you, that is stressing you out, that is making you feel unfulfilled, that is suppressing you in any way, why not give it a shot? I know it isn't easy, but why not give it a shot? It is something that I will always be practicing. I'm gonna be married one day. That is my plan. I have a 4-year plan. I'm gonna be somebody's wife. Okay, y'all hear me? Brooklyn. And even when I have my babies and when I have my husband and we have like our life together, I still want to bring that in, because I didn't mention this, but it is one of the best ways to discipline yourself. Especially if you're watching, you're just like, oh my gosh, I could never. I love sex. I'm a sex maniac. I think I'm addicted. I watch porn all day. Try it out. Discipline yourself. Do it for a week. If you're in a committed relationship, try it with your partner. See what happens. If you are on your own, see what happens. See what ways that you can work with your sacral chakra. Maybe just ask your sacral chakra. Place your hands on your womb space. Breathe deep and say, hey, what do you need from me? You never know what is gonna come up. Thank you guys so much for just like sticking it out with me. I look forward to seeing you guys in another video. Bye.